violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Medgar Evers, and it's a very tranquil scene compared to just a couple hours ago where a drive-by shooting just took place. Excuse me, I'm getting live updates as we speak. I've just been updated to the amount of casualties from this drive-by shooting, and I'm getting reports that 2 people were actually declared deceased and 27 others were shot and injured but are in stable condition. And although we must pray for the families of the fallen, we must also praise God for the aim of the Super Gremlin. If you want to know more about the victims of this crime, make sure you add BGZM News 17 on Patreon at www.patreon.com/blackgenzmindset. Also, don't forget to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and comment on the video to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this gun violence in the streets. For more hard-hitting news coverage from the community, by the community, I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
And cut.
All right, dog. Let's get the out of here before these niggas come back.
Whoa. Yo. Ain't that nigga J?
Nah, that ain't me. That ain't me.
He just went live
That ain't
with
me.
that funky ass suit on. That's that nigga.
That's not me.
Hey, get that nigga.
Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia. Pray for me.
And there's an ongoing murder investigation in Old Bridge. Police were called to Hannah Lane yesterday. A relative found the body of Deborah Brown Hepworth. Police believe she was killed. They are asking anyone with information or surveillance video of that area to give them a call.
So, guys, here is the woman, Deborah, aka Sony Brown Hepworth. You know, auntie vibes, could be your godmother, could be your grandmother. And this woman, apparently, for one, she was divested, which still did not save her from the demon time activities in the community. Okay, because it appears that her husband actually passed away in June, as you can see under this photo here. So, guys, he's not the one who took her out. Who probably, the individual that probably took her out was part of the community. And it looks like she worked her whole life to get away from these super gremlins on demon time. And, you know, after her husband passed away, that was the last line of defense for that. And unfortunately, she was found beaten to death in her home. So let's read this article. A woman was found killed in her township home, officials said Monday. On Saturday, just after 11 a.m., a 911 call to Old Bridge Township Police reported that a relative had found a 65-year-old woman passed out in her residence. 65 years old. Officers responded to the Hannah Lane home in the Lawrence Harbor section of town and found Deborah Brown Hepworth, who was pronounced dead shortly after. Okay. Other than calling it a homicide, Middlesex County Prosecutor Yolanda Saccone, sounds like a sister, offered no other details on Monday, including a potential cause of death. Anyone with information or surveillance footage of the area has been asked to call Detective Addie Spinola of the Old Bridge Police Department.
NYPD and MTA say crime is down on the subways, even lower than pre-pandemic levels. And they've got the numbers to back it up. But commuters are...
Here they go, fudging these numbers again. They did it in Atlanta. Now they're doing it in New York.
still worried about their safety. Eyewitness News reporter
By the way, Chico.
Jay Burkett has the story.
You just have to be kind of smart about it, be aware of your surroundings.
Riders are still watching their backs after months of relentless headlines about crime in the New York City subway.
I feel a little bit safer, but not as safe as I could. I have to watch my back.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the NYPD's chief of department says the reality is far different, that crime is finally falling.
See, they're trying to convince you guys, because I believe there's going to be a stark uproar in crime coming in the very near future, but they're trying to lull you to sleep and make you think, oh, crime was going down for 1 month.
We are making measurable, sustained progress.
Chief Ken Corey told MTA board members that this summer, the overall rate of transit crime fell below pre-pandemic levels.
Crime in transit was 8.6% lower this year than it was in 2019, a difference of 339 crimes.
The chief insists that the department's policing strategies are paying off, adding 350 officers to patrol the system while ordering other officers to conduct station visits while on routine street patrol. Officers are also enforcing so-called quality of life offenses like panhandling and boarding the trains with piles of trash.
Wow, how do they get all that stuff on there? How do they get all that on there?
Smoking and fare evasion. Chief Corey insisted that homeless outreach has been stepped up.
We now have service providers there. We now have clinicians, and we're getting people the help they need.
Union President Tony Utano praised the department's efforts. Chief Corey's presentation today strongly indicates to us that the mayor is following through on his commitments. End quote. In June, the MTA surveyed riders and found that barely half were satisfied with the subways and that crime was a major factor. One of the crimes most feared by riders is felony assault, which is up 18%.
And we have a lot more work to do. But what I'm seeing right now is measurable, sustained progress.
When I asked him specifically whether the worst was over, Chief Corey answered yes without hesitation. Driving down crime was a challenge for the NYPD. Convincing skeptical riders could prove no less difficult.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Frederick Douglass, where a shooting just took place. And as you can see, it's a pretty rough area. So I'm basically risking my life reporting on this madness. So make sure you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Like the video, hell, share the video. And make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down in the comments section to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
All right, guys. So for the last story I have, we're going to be talking about remarks that Fat Joe made about it being okay to rob somebody. It's okay to burglarize somebody. It's okay to put a weapon in someone's face and demand their belongings rather than making an honest living and working hard to get what you deserve. Okay. Instead, he empathizes and justifies the actions of the people who murdered PNB Rock with his statement here. So let's listen.
Kill each other. And so what should happen is, I used to stick people up. I used to rob people. No, I'm being honest. I'm not trying to front for y'all. I'm not against him robbing them.
You heard what he said. He's not against black men robbing other black men. And this is the same Fat Joe who is behind the legislation to make it so that when these rappers rap about their violent lifestyles and violent crimes, the feds cannot use this as evidence against them in the court of law. This is the same Fat Joe, along with a whole host of other rappers, Jay-Z, Meek Mill, and a few others. But he is one of the top ones who is advocating for this change in criminal justice. And now he is advocating for black men to rob other black men. Not to mention he is Puerto Rican, if I'm not mistaken. So he's not even black.
Autumn, rob him. Why you gotta kill him?
I agree.
Why you gotta kill him?
Why is the crowd laughing and clapping? Oh, yeah, rob him, honey, but don't kill him. It's disgusting. It's abhorrent. It's abominable. This is not something that should be advocated for, justified. These actions should be condemned, but they want Trump to condemn white supremacists. Okay? But we won't even condemn these super gremlins on demon time.
And that's what bothers me. And shouldn't kill each other. And so what should happen is, I used to stick people up. I used to rob people. Now, I'm being honest. I'm not trying to front for y'all. I'm not against him robbing them. Caught him, rob him. Why you gotta kill him?
I agree.
Why you gotta kill him? And that's what bothers me.
And that's the only thing that bothers him. It doesn't bother him that these super gremlins ran up on PNB in front of his family, in front of his girl, in front of all the world to see. Doesn't matter that they did this in broad daylight. It just bothers him that PNB was killed. This guy is a disgrace. It's despicable. He is an evil human being justifying evil actions from these super gremlins on demon time.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Guess what? I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, cyberspace? It's a Black Gen Z mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video. Wow, man. So if you guys did not see my video earlier, it was about PNB Rock, and essentially PNB Rock was killed by a super gremlin family. Now, I know this methodology is pretty unconventional, but this is where we're at in the community. It's what you guys got to understand. This is where we are at, where a mother, a father, a son come together to commit violent crimes against another black family. Black people are not outraged by this. We're not in an uproar about this. It's almost like this is a non-story. I haven't even heard much about people speaking about the perpetrators of this horrific crime. Okay? There's not much coverage on it. And it's not, this is from all the blogs. This is not, and even the news stations. But we have information that tells us that the stepmother was arrested. The son, who was actually the trigger man, who pulled the trigger, was arrested, 17 years old. So he's a juvenile. His name was not released. His father's name was released, though. Father's name was released. But this is what's going on in the community. You have these super OG gremlins on demon time, bringing their children into crimes, robbing people, killing people. As a matter of fact, I can almost guarantee the reason why the 17-year-old was the trigger man, the 17-year-old was the one to do all these things, is because the community ain't stupid. The community ain't stupid. They know he's not going to get no time. They know he's not going to get any time. No time at all. This should be something that is embarrassing for the Black community. Something that we all come down hard on. Something that we're outside protesting for. And not leaving little bite-sized monuments. Okay? This is something that we should be irate about. The fact that you have a father and a stepmother having their child commit violent crimes against another Black man. I mean, really think about this. Imagine you're growing up with your family and your dad wakes you up one morning and says, "Hey, son, we need some cash. Put your clothes on." Gives you a gun and tells you, "Do what you need to do, young man. Do what you got to do. Because anything that you do will be absolved of accountability, absolved of responsibility, absolved of ownership. Everything that you do will not be judged, at least properly." So we just had Pop Smoke, who was killed by a 16-year-old. And he was with family too. I think with some cousins and maybe even siblings. Pop Smoke killed by a 16-year-old. Now you got PNB Rock killed by a 17-year-old. Nobody's talking about this. Nobody in the community is talking about this but me. I mean, how do you think that would make the ancestors feel? How do you think that that would make the civil rights leaders feel? How do you think that would make, how do you think that makes me feel? It's not about me. How do you think that makes the family of PNB feel? Okay? This is a real issue, and it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. The whole family should lose their shot at freedom. The whole family. Okay? The son, the father, the stepmother, it should be over for them. Their lineage should be discontinued. But the father, he's probably an accomplice. The way they set it up, I believe he was a getaway driver. The mother, an accomplice as well. The son, juvenile murder conviction. He'll be out by 21. So where's the justice in that? Does he deserve a second chance? No. He's a demon. He was brought up by wicked parents. They pretty much determined his destiny. It wasn't white supremacy. It wasn't the racist criminal justice system. They did that. They determined his fate. They determined his ultimate destination, which is the penitentiary. I hope he's tried as an adult. I hope he's tried as an adult. I hope he doesn't get another shot. I hope the father doesn't get another shot. The mother doesn't get another shot. They don't deserve another chance because PNB Rock does not have another day where he will be able to inhale oxygen, where he'll be able to buy another chain, make another song, smoke another blunt with his girl, kiss his daughter on the forehead. He'll never be able to do any of those things again. Never. How is that right? How is that just? But then you have guys like Fat Joe who are justifying the fact that, hey, it was okay that they tried to rob him, right? But just don't kill him. Why you had to kill the man? Well, robberies are violent. So what happens if they don't give it up? Fat Joe, what happens if they don't give it up? It's a real question. It's a real question. These super rapping gremlins on demon time are soulless, heartless, devoid of morale, devoid of any barometer of ethical behavior. Devoid. And if I didn't believe in the First Amendment, I would say Fat Joe's ass should be locked up too for even inciting something like this. Oh, it's okay to rob, just don't kill him, on a nationally syndicated show. Okay? The only things that's saving his ass is the First Amendment. Okay? Shout out to Eric with the $10 Cash App. I appreciate that, my brother. You already know.
Hold on. Hello? Where we at? Oh, you want to know where I'm at? We outside!
You already know, man. This needs to be spoken on. And y'all know how YouTube gonna do me, so show some love, like the video. Make sure you like the video, share the video, hit the Cash App, hit the PayPal, hit the Super Trap. The banner is down below. Y'all know how YouTube already gonna do me. Okay? Y'all know how they gonna do me. So we need to get the message out because, unfortunately, these super gremlins and these super rapping gremlins on demon time, they have a louder voice than me. Yeah, they do. They've got a louder voice than me. But that doesn't mean that they're right. That doesn't mean that they're right. They're loud and wrong. Let's get into this news.
Two arrests announced today in the shooting and killing of a rapper at a restaurant in South Los Angeles earlier this month. Eyewitness News reporter Sid Garcia with the story.
2 weeks after rapper PNB Rock was gunned down at the South Los Angeles Roscoe's House of Chicken and Waffles, the LAPD says they made arrests in connection to the murder. The rapper's real name is Rakeem Allen. Arrested in connection to his slaying, a 17-year-old boy who was booked for murder, and his stepmother, Chantel Trone, both were taken into custody yesterday. The 17-year-old was arrested in Lawndale. Chantel Trone was arrested.
Shout out to Caleb West for the $5 super trap. He says, still can't believe it, Z. You telling me Rock got ran on by a whole family?
Oh, say less.
Yeah, man, you better believe it. You better believe it. PNB Rock got ran up on by a blended Super Gremlin family. Okay?
For murder, and his stepmother, Chantel Trone, both were taken into custody.
Chantel Trone. Chantel Trone, I believe, rather. Okay, let's see if we can get a picture of her. Chantel Trone. Arrested for accessory. Okay. We've got her. It's not a good picture. It's not the best picture. But we've got an image of her at least. We've got an image. Here is the woman of the hour. She my trap queen. Watch her hit the bendo. This is the trap queen. This is the trap queen. Okay? It's absolutely ridiculous. Here's another one. The earrings, I ain't gonna lie, it looks like those are pyramid earrings, but the women, lack of morality. The men, lack of morality. The children is bad, y'all. It is bad. Shout out to Amos with the $1 cash app. I got that.
Oh, say less.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate the cash app. Let's see if a message has come with that. No, no message with that one, but we did get one from Eric, and he says, "Great stream." I appreciate that, brother. But this is not good, y'all. This is not good when you have a mother and a father leading their child to the slaughter. This is where we're at. This is where we're at. And nobody has anything to say about it in the community. Nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares. That's the craziest part, I think. That's the craziest part. Shout out to Caleb West with the $5 super trap. He says, the employees are not snitching because they are afraid due to the father still out on the run.
Oh, say less.
Yeah, and that's a great point. That's a great point. I can get behind that. But this is a responsibility of the community to, for one, acknowledge that this is happening on a mass scale, not just, on a minuscule scale. To acknowledge that this is happening on a mass scale is the first thing that we got to do. That's the first thing that we got to do. First and foremost, okay? That's the first thing we got to do. Acknowledge it, that it's actually happening. Because the community will not acknowledge this fact. They won't. They won't. They are going to displace the blame on everybody else. Gliders, KKK, racist, white supremacists, criminal justice system. They're going to blame it on everything else.
Yesterday, the 17-year-old was arrested in Lawndale. Chantel Trone was arrested in Gardena and booked for being an accessory to the murder. Freddie Lee Trone, the 17-year-old's father, is still at large. Detectives say he was involved in P&B Rock's murder as well.
And this man is still at large. Excuse me. Still at large. And out of all those people who are saying RIP to P&B Rock, out of all those people who are showing love in the comment section, go back to his Instagram page. None of y'all have seen this nigga walking around? Not one of y'all have seen this nigga and would like to make an anonymous report to Crime Stoppers? Not one. I mean, the nigga gonna have to go outside at some point, right? I mean, he couldn't have gotten that far. Correct? And see, this is my problem with the community. Y'all are so fake. You're so fake. And it's getting to the point where you're full of shit. Because this guy should have been apprehended. All the love that P&B Rock getting in the streets. This dude shouldn't be able to step outside without somebody at least running down on him, inflicting street justice at the bare minimum. At the bare minimum. All these people coming out talking about they P&B fans. And no, I was not a fan. I was not a fan of him. Didn't know many songs that he had. Never listened to a full album of his. But I know right from wrong. I know what the right thing to do in this situation. I know what it would be. And that's all that matters, honestly.
On September 12th, Rock showed up at this Roscoe's with his girlfriend and posted on social media he was there. Police say the suspect went into the restaurant and robbed him. The rapper was shot and killed during a struggle for his jewelry.
So there you have it. What did Fat Joe say? What did Fat Joe say? Oh, well, I mean, robbing is okay, but why'd you have to kill him? Well, they just told you right there. He just told you right there. The reason why they had to kill him is because he struggled. He fought back. He didn't give it up. And you know what? Rightfully so. He has a right to fight for what he worked for. And although I would not advise you guys to do that, genuinely, I wouldn't advise you guys to fight the Super Gremlins. It's not worth it. The reality is they'll kill you either way. Whether you fight or whether you give it up willingly. Look what happened to Gunu, rapper Gunu in DC. He gave it up, was still killed. He gave it up, he was still killed. This is a real issue. So my question to Fat Joe is, what happens if they don't give it up? What happens if they're not afraid of you? What happens if they're ready to die? Then is it okay to kill them? What happens when they say, I'm willing to die about my shit, fam? I'm willing to die about my shit on whatever hood that he repping. I'm willing to die about my shit. Then is it okay to rob people and take their lives? Because he said it was all fine as long as it's just a robbery. Not understanding, he doesn't have the intellectual capacity to comprehend that robberies are violent crimes. You have to be violent, and the only way you're really going to get them to give their stuff up is if you are threatening violence, and you have to be willing to inflict that violence onto a person. So if you're a robber, you're a killer too. If you lie, you'll steal. If you steal, you'll kill. If you're a robber, you're a killer too. Let me repeat that. If you're a robber, you're a killer too. The morality lines are blurred once you get into these violent acts. Okay? He shot him 3 times. Shot the man 3 times. He didn't want to give it up. Shot him 3 times and took his jewelry.
Robbed him. The rapper was shot and killed during a struggle for his jewelry. At the restaurant today, no one from Roscoe's would talk. A representative telling us they're not talking as long as Freddie Trone was still out there.
So there you have it. The restaurant ain't talking because that man is still outside. The restaurant ain't talking because that man is still outside. Okay? The restaurant's talking because these Super Gremlins got them dogs out there. They got them goons.
If you see these dogs in your front yard, just know upstairs I'm going hard. Bing bong.
In fact, some customers at the restaurant and strip mall told us they were too afraid to talk to us on camera because Trone was still at large. The LAPD isn't saying much about how they arrested Trone's 17-year-old son and the teen stepmother because the investigation is ongoing. Detectives are asking for the public's help in finding Trone. If you see him, call police. Don't approach him. Detectives say he's regarded to be armed and dangerous.
So, thankfully, we have identified the Super Gremlins who did this to PNB Rock. Okay? But that's not the end of it.
Some developments that are coming together in the shooting death of rapper PNB Rock. Los Angeles police have arrested 2 people, including a minor, in connection with the murder of the Philadelphia native. Investigators are still looking for a 3rd suspect. The rapper, whose real name is Rakim Allen, was gunned down 2 weeks ago at the popular Roscoe's Chicken restaurant in LA.
And it's already ironic enough that he was killed at a fried chicken joint. It's really that bad in the community, y'all. It's what you got to understand.
New arrests announced today in the shooting and killing of a rapper at a restaurant in South Los Angeles earlier this month. Eyewitness News reporter Sid Garcia with the story.
2 weeks after rapper PNB Rock was gunned down at the South Los Angeles Roscoe's House of Chicken and Waffles, the LAPD says they've made arrests in connection to the murder. The rapper's real name is Rakim Allen. Arrested in connection to his slaying, a 17-year-old boy who was booked for murder, and his stepmother, Chantel Trone, both were taken into custody yesterday. The 17-year-old was arrested in Lawndale. Chantel Trone was arrested in Gardena and booked for being an accessory to the murder. Freddie Trone, the 17-year-old's father, is still at large. Detectives say he was involved in PNB Rock's murder as well.
And that nigga look wicked too. Just looking at the mug shot, he looks wicked. And we might actually review that DJ Academics video on this one too. I've been meaning to get to it, but I think right now is pretty appropriate since we've got the people who have done this identified. We've identified them already. Honestly, this dude looks like a regular guy. Regular guy. No crazy indicators of demon time except his eyes, but no neck tattoos, no face tattoos, no real indicators. And that's the scary part. These super gremlins are on demon time.
Well, on September 12th, Rock showed up at this Roscoe's with his girlfriend and posted on social media he was there. Police say the suspect went into the restaurant and robbed him. The rapper was shot and killed during a struggle for his jewelry. At the restaurant today, no one from Roscoe's would talk. A representative telling us they're not talking as long as Freddie Trone was still out there. In fact, some customers at the restaurant and strip mall told us they were too afraid to talk to us on camera because Trone was still at large. The LAPD isn't saying much about how they arrested Trone's 17-year-old son and the teen's stepmother because the investigation is ongoing. Detectives are asking for the public's help in finding Trone. If you see him, call police. Don't approach him. Detectives say he's regarded to be armed and dangerous.
So there you have it, man. Let's see. Let me pull this. We got another news story or news video rather. And then we'll break down one of his interviews. Okay.
Another rapper, PNB Rock, was shot and killed
in
front of a lunchtime crowd at a South LA restaurant. But as KCAL 9's Jeff Nguyen shows us tonight, another suspect remains at large.
The missing suspect is considered armed and dangerous, so much so that police say do not approach him. And we have since learned about his long criminal past.
This is a picture of 40-year-old Freddie Trone, who's wanted in the deadly shooting of rapper PNB Rock, whose real name is Rakim Allen. The recording artist was also robbed of his jewelry at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle more than 2 weeks ago.
Can I ask you about Freddie?
No, I ain't trying to do that. I just came to feed the dog.
We spoke to neighbors.
You heard that. You heard that. They are asking the neighbors, hey, can we ask you about Freddie? Nah, I ain't trying to do that. I'm just trying to feed my dogs. And this is a grown man. This is a grown man. This is supposed to be neighborhood watch. Okay? This is supposed to be the neighborhood watch. The people who are looking out for the community. the people who are for justice. He don't want to give no details about Freddie. So maybe something that he says, maybe some type of information that he divulges could help have this guy caught and arrested. Okay. Shout out to Romer Dubois. He says, YouTube doing something crazy here. Got to be more people in here. Yeah, man. Yeah, the numbers just don't make sense. Numbers just don't make sense. They never have. They never will for my channel. They never have. They never will for my channel, unfortunately. They got me, y'all. They've limited my exposure. They're going to get me to a certain they're going to put me in a certain like sect that I can't get out of. I used to get 69,000 views a month. Now I'm getting 54. It's only dropping from here. My watch time going down as well. Okay. Subscribers monthly going down as well. So that's what it is, man. They don't want this message to get out. They don't want people to really realize how this thing is going in the community. Not yet, at least. Not yet.
Go. Can I ask you about Freddie?
No, I ain't trying to do that. I just came to feed the dog.
We spoke to neighbors at Trone's Gardena apartment that he shares with his wife, 32-year-old Chantel Trone. Police arrested her yesterday morning in connection with the murder. Freddie's 17-year-old son was arrested in Lawndale. A task force waited for the suspects outside their homes and took them in without a fight.
It's the name of safety.
Criminal records show Freddie Trone went to prison in
Of course, 2008, 6 years for possession of a firearm. So, of course, he's got a record.
2008 for possession of firearm. He was released in 2012.
So, he served 4 years of that and was released under supervision.
His probation revoked later that year for criminal threats and was released on time served. He was sent to prison again in 2013 for assault and released in 2015. Detectives are sharing his photo to ask for the
So this man got released twice. You know, and possession of a firearm, then the assault charge. Obviously, that's probably not even half of what he has gotten away with in his street career. Probably not even half. But he understands that the system is lenient. He understands that the system is not racist. He understands that the system gives you a slap on the wrist until you cut somebody's hand off. Okay?
Public's help in finding him.
The photo is very clear. He has a very unique face. And so if people see him, I would consider him armed and dangerous. I would dial 911 immediately.
The LAPD says detectives have received tips and security video to build their case. They tried to catch Freddie Trone yesterday, but they were not able to find him. For now, investigators aren't saying who was the shooter or who drove the getaway car. Back at his apartment, one neighbor told us he got a call from Chantel Trone, who was in jail, to take care of her dogs.
Wow. So she is involved in killing another man, another black man. And all the sister can worry about is making sure that her dogs get taken out and that they get fed. And y'all are really trying to convince me that these sisters are empathetic, that they're nurturers, that they're kind, meek, mild. Sheesh.
Called me. I got a call this morning.
The 17-year-old suspect is currently at a juvenile facility while his stepmother is being held here at LAPD's 77th Division.
So there you have it. He's already in the juvenile center. He's probably going to be charged as a juvenile. They're going to say, oh, his parents coerced him into doing this, whatnot. But they can't be charged for the murders because they didn't pull the trigger themselves. But we'll see. Maybe they might charge them all with murder. Who knows? Who knows? But this is the dire states of the community at this moment in time.
Her bail and court date have not been set. In South LA, Jeff Nguyen, KCAL 9 News.
All right, guys. So that was pretty much the news coverage to give you guys a background on what is going on here. Just wanted to give you guys a little background on that. Now I'm going to see if I can pull up the PNB Rock interview with academics. There we go. It's 2 hours and 4 minutes. We're not going to get through it all, obviously, but we will try and get through. Hold up. Damn. I can't pause it right now. Hold up. Shit. All right. But we're going to try and get through as much as we possibly can. So let me share the screen. So when the video is playing, I'm going to have to put my BGZM News 17 logo over it, like so, because this is copywritten material and academic strikes down shit. So we'll get into the video. We will get into the video and see what he was talking about and maybe get some insight onto who he was. Okay. We're not going to do the whole thing, but we'll get into a good bit of it. So let's go.
It's one of the people who I think has changed the style of music, inspired a lot of people, and just someone who just makes great music in general, man. I'm here with PNB Rock.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Get me.
Man, is this the first time we've sat down?
No, we did one. I think we did Everyday Struggle one time.
We did it one time, right? Yeah.
It was a minute ago though.
There you go, come in. Just step in, bro.
I don't know. He looks a little paranoid even in this video. He doesn't look like he's in his natural element, if you will.
Is it Tyler or Talib?
He mad shit when niggas call him Talib.
But anyway, man, yo, the first question I do have for you: where the hell have you been?
Oh man, I ain't gonna lie. I've been still doing the same shit.
Put the mic a little bit closer.
Yeah, my bad. I've been still doing the same shit though. I've been cooking up. I've been making music, making beats, writing shit for people. But I just been in the cut. You feel me? I haven't been able to drop.
You
like
can
I want
just
to.
pull it right there, from like this.
And see, guys, the thing about being in the cut in the community is that you're never in the cut. You're never safe when it comes to this type of shit, especially if you're as flashy as he is. Okay. There's no such thing as being in the cut as a black man. You're always going to have a target on your back. You're always going to have other black men who want to kill you for no apparent reason other than you're doing better than them. This is the crab in a barrel mentality of the community.
It's good, right?
No, you just pull like this. Yeah, you right there.
That shit don't lift up. I'm trying to lift it up this way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been doing the same shit though, bro. Just been in the cut though with it. Feel me? I ain't stopped doing shit.
I feel like from time to time, I'm usually like, whenever you go live or something, I'll pop in just kind of hear what you're saying, and I'll be reading the comments too. And I think a lot of your fans, mostly, they're usually saying, "What's up with the music?"
Yeah,
and I think that's the biggest question we gonna get addressed off top, because I think a lot of people believe you're a phenomenally talented artist.
Yeah, so at the time of his untimely demise, he was in between labels and he wasn't dropping as much music as he was. And he was, generally talented. Obviously, there was a lot of auto-tune being used, but he could hold a note or two. You know what I'm saying? He could hold a note or two. So, he had some talent. And I think that, maybe just the pressures of the industry had gotten to him.
Artist, great voice, they love your style, but I think they don't feel like they get fed enough, man. And how the audience is.
I used to feed them, feel me, in the beginning. That's how I initially got the fan base that I got. Niggas know I used to be flooding. But it's like when you get signed to a label and they put you on these deals, that should be structured. Whereas though you only could drop probably like once every year, once every 14 months or some shit like that, or whenever they ready or feel like you ready to drop. Type shit. But that's pretty much what it was. I was at the end of my deal, and we was just like at these last 2 albums, we was like at a stalemate, you know. Going through the shit with the label.
Yeah, and you know, before we even get to that, we should probably bring it. You know, if this is the first time you ever seen me sit down with him, we got to get back to the foundation. I remember the very first time I like seen you. I think it was when you just came home, and I'm like, yo, everybody's going crazy. Like they just let Brittany Griner out of Russia. I'm like,
shout out to Paul with the $20 PayPal. He says, Black Gen Z saying it plain with eloquence. I appreciate that, Paul. You already know.
Oh, say like
yo, the whole hood is going crazy. You get me? And then I start seeing you doing these radio freestyles and your body and everything. You know what I mean? I didn't know how you even got to that point of getting so much love. So you got to fill me in.
Pretty much, I came home 2013, 2014. I was in the halfway house for a little minute. And it was like, that's when I was really like trying to kickstart the shit. I even got like some old ass videos in the halfway house. Like I was like, gonna be like Halfway House Rock. That was gonna be my name.
Really?
But I ain't never take off. Like I couldn't figure that part out. You feel me? So I just was stuck in the halfway house. But anyway, I wound up running away from the halfway house, and because I couldn't.
You can run away from the shit?
Okay, so guys, listen up. So he was in the halfway house, I believe, because he I think it was something that had to do with that charge that he had gotten. I think it has something to do with that charge that he had gotten when it comes to the weed and his girl and whatnot. So the criminal justice system, they didn't lock him up and throw away the key. They put him in a halfway house to get his life right, to get his life together, okay? To get his shit together, essentially. And it looks like, I mean, he ran away from it, but from my understanding, it looks like it ultimately benefited him. Gave him some structure, sat his ass down, temporarily at least.
Yeah, like the halfway house is like you halfway in jail, you halfway out. You get to go out every day outside.
Yeah, but if you run away, don't they put you back in prison?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I left Mondo because basically I ain't have like for you to leave out the halfway house, you got to have like a set crib. Like somebody got a sign to say like he staying here. Yeah. And it can't be like no Section 8. So everybody that I knew had Section 8. And it was like I was in there for a long ass time for like 8 months trying to figure out where I was going to go. So it was just like, man, fuck, I'm out. Figure this shit out on the back end. And then when I went on the run, I just started popping like instant.
So just listen up. He ran away from the halfway house. This is interesting. Ran away from the halfway house, and then he goes on the run. That's when he started popping. Breaking the rules got him popping in the hip hop industry. Doing things the wrong way got him popping in the hip hop industry. Going on the run, violating his probation, violating the terms that he signed and agreed upon only by way of leniency from the judge. He could have completed that program. It wasn't hard. It wasn't difficult. Okay? But he could have completed that program, but he went on the run, and that's when he started seeing success in his music. Why? Because this is what we glorify. He probably started talking about, man, I'm in this halfway house, and I just said, fuck that, I'm out. Something like that. He probably put a line in his song, line in his bars, and niggas could relate to that shit. Niggas could relate to that shit, and niggas respect that shit. That is what we respect in the black community. Oh, you on probation and you still smoking? Nigga, you don't give a fuck. Pass the blunt. You see? That's the mentality. That's the mentality.
Because it was like that shit was a whole different wave for the city. Like niggas wasn't singing and rapping like how I was coming when I made that first joint I came out with was like some shit called Weekend Baby. And it was just like a vibe. You feel me? Like, it was different.
Where'd you get that? Where'd you get that style from? Because I think that's the style that I believe. I think, do we call it like kind of trap and B? Like, what do you call it? And where did you get that from?
Yeah, I guess you could say that, trap and B. I don't know though. For real, I honestly I created it in jail. I was in jail. I always knew I had a nice voice. I could sing, but I ain't never really be singing because I felt like me being me and doing the shit I used to do, I used to feel like that wasn't like my lane.
Okay, so y'all hear what he said. He said he always had a nice voice. He always could sing, but me being me and doing what I'm doing, that wasn't my lane. I'm going to tell you why it wasn't his lane. I'm going to tell you why. Because the community, we had, and people say, oh, where did R&B go? What happened to R&B? Niggas killed R&B because they bullied the guys who were singing. Oh, you a sing-song ass nigga. I remember when this mumble rap shit first came out and niggas was on the track and shit. Oh, that's a sing-song ass nigga. He ain't no real street nigga. Then the sing-song niggas had to prove that they were real. They had to prove that they were real niggas. Okay? The R&B stars had to prove that they're real niggas now. Even Tory Lanez, another sing-song nigga, he had to go on Hot 97 and prove that he could rap. Like he had bars like a lyrical rapper. So the sing-song niggas are not respected. The sing-song niggas are shitted on. And even the women shit on them, unless you're famous. Okay? Even the women shit on them. These sing-song R&B niggas, they're not rewarded in the community, at least anymore. Back in the day, they were. Back in the day, it meant something if you had a beautiful voice. If you could sing. Okay? If you could express yourself sonically. It meant something. Nowadays, if you ain't talking about killing shit, you don't matter.
Just like R&B was like for soft niggas or niggas that wasn't.
And you from Philly? It's a homeless spitters.
So yeah, exactly. I used to try to rap and all that shit, but I just always knew I had a voice. But when I went to jail upstate, I got locked up. I did 33 months upstate. I'm seeing niggas up there singing about pain shit, like some hard shit, like some real life shit that everybody in there can relate to. It wasn't like the hottest shit, but it was like an idea for me to be like, yo, that shit hot. That like,
so you kind of to the edge.
I like the idea of niggas singing melodies and shit, but it's not.
So listen up. So peep this. On the streets, it's some weak ass shit to be a sing-song nigga. It's some weak ass shit to make R&B and pour your heart out to a woman. Or just pour your heart out about your situation. It's some weak ass shit in the streets. But in prison, it's like a damn talent show. Everybody trying to show off that they got some. Everybody trying to show they got bars. Everybody trying to show that they're talented, that they can sing, that they can dance, that they can rap, that they can write. They can do a backflip. They can hoop. Okay? So on the streets, they'll make fun of you. Oh, that hooping ass nigga. Oh, you just a football nigga. You ain't killing shit. You ain't really drilling shit, even though you doing drills every day to better your physique. You ain't really killing. Oh, you just a football nigga. Oh, no, you just a sing-song nigga. You ain't no real nigga. You ain't no street nigga. That is why Chris Brown had to affiliate himself with the Pyrus. That's why. Because he wasn't getting the validation that he wanted and yearned for from the black community. That's why he joined a gang. That's why. Because he wasn't being validated by the black community because they were saying, oh, he a soft ass nigga. He a sing-song ass nigga. Oh, that nigga be dancing and doing the tick dance and all that shit. Oh, he ain't about that real shit. He ain't ready to kill. He ain't ready to rob. He ain't no real street nigga. So even though Chris Brown has not killed anybody or directly got caught for robbing anybody, he's good now just because he's affiliated. See, this is the way the community works. This is the sick shit that I'm talking about.
like for no like almost
like crying over a girl type shit.
Like that shit hot. So I really just started doing my little shit. You feel me? And I was kind of shy to bust out with it at first, but my celly I had a celly, my man. He was in there like just egging me on, like, nigga, you probably ass. That's why you don't want nobody to hear your shit. You feel me? Like, and I just spit him like probably 1 or 2 joints, and he was hype as shit, like too hype. Niggas in jail don't be hype, you feel me? Like, that shit ain't really nothing to them. But my shit was kind of different because it just was a different sound. And it was like a wave, you feel me? It was some different wavy shit. I was talking about the pain shit, the struggle shit too, but I was putting some sauce into it. I was young. I was only 19. Everybody else up there, 30s, they old as shit, you feel me? They ain't been outside in a while. I'm coming with the new lingo, all that. But pretty much that's how I really got popping. I got popping in jail first, you feel me? Like,
So how did the people like in the streets kind of like, even hear it though?
I came home and started flooding. I started getting SoundClick, getting beats on SoundClick. And I was putting my shit on SoundCloud. And really, that's just what it was. Me and my niggas from my block was just promoting that shit on Instagram and shit like that. And niggas just started fucking with it. It was an instant, like, it wasn't like, it ain't take long for me to take off at all. Like, I'd probably say within a couple months, like 5-6 months, my shit was already booming.
I remember this is how I looked at you. And I said, this is if Drake grew up in the hood. You know what I mean? In a way, you know what I mean? It's like he has a voice. He's not fully singing like trying to hit crazy notes, but it's melodic enough. But he's talking about street shit, pain that like you got to been through some shit to really be able to relate to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So that's really what it was. And when I came home, I was giving them all of that. But I told you I was in the halfway house and I was on the run, so niggas didn't know that part of it. They just thought I was just out here, new fresh talent. They ain't know I was on the run the whole time. So I was just getting my shit going, and then to the point where I was getting shows and bookings and shit, like everything. So I had a show in Atlantic City, and this was the first time like I had like an out of the city type of show too. It was like at a casino or some shit. So we checking in and checked into the rooms. I'm in the casino.
You hyped.
Yeah, I'm just vibing down. I'm in the casino. I'm ready to go gamble. Man, some niggas, some white people at the boy me like with the paper with my face on it, like, yeah, you Rakim Island, you gotta come with us. I'm like, fuck it. I'm BNB Rock. I ain't Rakim Island. I don't even know who that is.
Like, this is like some bounty hunters or like cops.
Oh, it's like niggas don't know that in some of these casinos they got that facial recognition shit. And if you got like a state detainer, like my shit ain't no city shit. It was a state detainer. So or probably even if you got federal, I don't know, but
damn,
it's being as though I had a state detainer.
So they caught his behind up right before he was finna do a show at a casino in Atlantic City. See? And although he was able to pop off with the music in the streets, he still needed to be held accountable for what he did in the past. Shout out to let's see, we got another PayPal in. Shout out to the brother Paul. He writes, I'm only pointing this out. Shoot, let me see. The messages always do this stupid stuff. I'm only pointing this out because it means I am a woman, not Paula. Oh, okay, your channel gets better every day. Oh, okay, my bad. I said Paul. Shout out to Paula. You already know she's outside with it.
Hold on. Hello? Where we at? Oh, you want to know where I'm at? We outside!
They hit me with the facial recognition, John. You feel me? And
jeez,
my shit just came up on their system. And they was like, yeah, we don't know you. Like, we didn't know you had a show. We didn't know nothing about none of that. We know that you got a warrant. You feel me? Like, I'm like, damn. Like, they booked me. I did my little time. I had owed them like 6 months or some shit. But then the mix of me getting that time, that's like when niggas was really like tapping in. Like, no, he really stamped.
Yeah.
He really booked again. Like, damn, we was just fucking with him. Like, and now he locked up again. So, that shit just give you a different in the streets.
When you came out, shit's on fire.
Yeah, when I came home, that's when you probably seen
Yeah.
So now I was after 6 months. So I went from like 5,700 followers, and like the next thing I talked to my manager, he like, damn, you just got like 27,000 followers in like 2 days. I'm like, damn, what the fuck going on? He like, nigga, this shit popping already, you feel me? And then a whole bunch of strings was getting pulled. I started meeting niggas and shit. Labels start coming up to the jail.
Really?
Yeah.
They coming to the jail meeting?
I met O in the jail, yeah, Orlando, Wartenberg.
Oh, Orlando's a fucking hustler.
Yeah.
Wow, guys, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all catch that? The label heads are recruiting niggas from the prisons. So we were under the false dispersion that there was a school to prison pipeline. Now in 2022, there is a school to prison to rap music industry pipeline. You've got these label producers, executives, managers pulling up to the prison asking for these niggas to dance, asking for these niggas to sing. So, yo, I mean, they going to a visit, having these niggas perform on the spot, having them sign record deals while they got 2 years still left on their sentence. And you wonder how all these niggas are getting out with a slap on the wrist. Like C Blue, who shot himself and an officer. Like 22 G's, who was able to make bail on an attempted murder charge. And these labels are financing these things. This is wicked, man.
Them niggas, cause that shit was really rolling like that. Like, you know, he just had got Fetty Wap around that time too. So it was like
he had all the hood niggas.
He knew what
man.
the fuck was going on. You feel me? He knew the wave. And that pretty much was it, bro. Like, I had so much different niggas coming at me. I had got my video aired on MTV, BT while I'm in jail. Like, you feel me? I ain't even get to see none of this shit. I'm just hearing about it and all through the mail. I'm getting fan mail, all type of shit every day.
Damn.
Like, fans, like literally real fans. Like,
at this point, you're like, I can't wait till I get out, right?
I couldn't believe that shit. Yeah, I still couldn't believe that shit until I really came home. I was like, you probably can see this on the documentary. I came home, my Welcome Home documentary. Like, I hop off the Sprinter, like kids running up to me crying and shit, like on some real pop star shit. I'm like, what the fuck? This shit fucked me up for a little quick second. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? But I embraced it like on some cool shit. But it was like, that shit was crazy to me. Like, everybody just wanted to hear what I had to say.
Yeah.
They just was ready for that shit.
Shit, and you pretty much just took off running. I mean, what's the, like, you know, I think you were on my radar because I felt like.
Okay, so we're going to skip ahead a little bit.
Outdated. We ain't locking in a minute, probably within like the last 2 years. But shit.
Why haven't y'all like been together a little bit more? Because like,
I don't know.
I feel like y'all got like great synergy music wise, and it always looked like y'all just always vibe together, man.
That's my guy. That's my brother. We still tapped in, but it's like, you know, niggas got families and shit now. That shit way different than 2016, 2017. Like,
damn, that do change shit.
He got 2 kids. I got 2 kids.
I want to fast forward to when they start talking about him getting robbed.
Man, they kid. They ain't no fucking.
Let's see.
They here with me to the long haul. You feel me? And it's just like I didn't really. I seen that shit, but I laugh at that shit. You feel me? Like I like, damn, I did some dumb shit. Like I'm willing to admit it. Like I ain't sitting here harboring and sad. Like fuck, I fucked up this. They be like, damn, fuck. You feel me? Like
the first thing I remember happening was the shit with it's the Rolling Loud shit. It's the shit with Lil B.
Yeah.
And I remember that happened. And it was one of those things where I'm like, it's the first time I seen like social media was like, yo, we usually love when our rappers really about that life until this was the cool right here.
Wait, it wasn't fucking with them.
Yo, as soon as they seen it, they was like, nah, not this one. Nah,
we was bullying them.
God damn. Where is that part? Let's see.
Gotta speak on it.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta let the people know. Like, that's why you be seeing a whole bunch of people, like, they'll do some little shit and they'll give a big ass public apology about the shit because it can go left quick.
Yo, and by the way, we're in that wave now. Like, back then,
you can't say shit now.
Yeah, back then, like, maybe you could do some shit you think is sliding. Like, put it like this. I don't know if you just seen, like, Beyonce and, who was it, Lizzo. There's, like, some random, like.
I don't know what the hell they talking about. Hold up.
I don't like the fact that words though, like, cause I'm one of those niggas. I reach out to niggas. Like, I feel like I'm cool like that too.
Let's see. You know what? It's a lot of effort. Since since we pretty much already heard that snippet where he was talking about getting robbed, but that was very interesting to know kind of how he came up, how the music industry pretty much recruited him straight out of prison. I mean, they're pouring gasoline on a fire, man, with that type of shit. It's almost like encouraging these guys to get locked up and start a music career. And the more heinous the crime, the better their career will go, pretty much. The mentality in the communities is it's sad, bro. It's sad. Nobody is talking about this story. I haven't heard much on it. I really haven't. And that is a tragedy in and of itself. That's a tragedy in and of itself. I mean, even when you search it on Google, like, these sites are not even getting that many hits on this one compared to other stories. Kind of leaves you wondering, right? Kind of makes you wonder. So anyways, unless somebody has some more information, I'm gonna probably hop off because I gotta make some more videos. I'm actually gonna be covering, let's see. Let me just let you guys know what I'm gonna be covering for the next couple of days. So we do have excuse me. We do have a burrito gremlin who was killed by the police for having an airsoft gun. But I think we're gonna have to go back to New Orleans because there's so much coming out on LaToya Contrail. They're saying she's living in a city-owned apartment, okay? And they're questioning if she even pays rent. This woman is literally one of the biggest finessers of all time. And I know New Orleans has a history. I know New Orleans has a history of corruption. We all understand that. But guys, it's bad, y'all. It is bad. And even there was a story that happened in my hometown where pretty much we were discussing a hit and run, which I'll go back to. We were discussing a hit and run. Let me see. It's an old video that I did. I basically broke down a hit and run that happened in the city that I grew up in, and the guy, he basically didn't get any charges. He got all of the charges dropped. 7 charges. Not guilty. So for all those people talking about the criminal justice system, I mean, you can miss me with that. This woke legislation is going everywhere. This woke legislation is going everywhere. So yeah, we're going to be talking about New Orleans. We're going to be talking about Memphis. I got a story of a super sister gremlin who shot in a vehicle in Memphis. It's bad, and the vehicle had children in it. Vehicle full of kids, and you got a woman shooting the vehicle up. So we got a lot of issues in the community that, quite frankly, are not being addressed. And I'm doing my best, y'all. I'm doing my best to keep up with this stuff. But make sure you guys support the channel. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. You already know the backup channel, BGZM News 17. The merch is in the description box below. sorry I couldn't go live longer on this topic. I just think we've exhausted pretty much everything that we need to know. I mean, there's not really much else. There's not really much you can say. The whole family is just on demon time. So anyways, you already know what it is. Hey, I appreciate you guys' support. This was a really quick stream, but I think we got some good content going. But we're going to send it off to Jenquavius to take us away, guys. Peace. Be safe.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Medgar Evers, and it's a very tranquil scene compared to just a couple hours ago where a drive-by shooting
just took place. Excuse me. I'm getting live updates as we speak. I've just been updated to the amount of casualties from this drive-by shooting, and I'm getting reports that 2 people were actually declared deceased and 27 others were shot and injured but are in stable condition. And although we must pray for the families of the fallen, we must also praise God for the aim of the Super Gremlin. If you want to know more about the victims of this crime, make sure you add BGZM News 17 on Patreon at www.patreon.com/blackgenzmindset. Also, don't forget to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and comment on the video to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this gun violence in the streets. For more hard-hitting news coverage from the community, by the community, I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
And cut.
All right, dog. Let's get the out of here before these niggas come back.
Whoa. Yo.
Whoa.
Ain't that nigga J?
Nah, that ain't me. That ain't me.
He just went live.
That ain't
with
me.
Funky ass
Yeah,
song.
that's that nigga. That's not me.
Hey, get that nigga.
Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia. Pray for me.
What? What?
You're not my dad! You guys want to hear something? Ugly ass fucking...
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away!